In today's mental health check, we are talking about extreme heat. July was the hottest month on record across the whole globe. And those high temperatures aren't only physically uncomfortable. New studies suggest they can take a toll on our mental well-being, too. Joining us now is psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig, along with meteorologist Bill Cairns, our regular guy. Dr. Ludwig, I'll start with you in a moment about the heat and mental health, but I want that. Dr. Ludwig, it is enough to stress anyone out, just to see the red on the map there. Let's talk about heat, because, you know, we think of heat as physical health, having a big impact on our physical health, but it does have a health impact on our mental well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody likes to feel uncomfortable. And what we found is that heat can make us more aggressive, more angry, more highly reactive, in some cases more violent. And it does have an impact in terms of our cognition, in terms of our fatigue level. So it really is something to keep top of mind.
So does it influence our everyday mood, the heat, or is it just, you know, sort of, if you're feeling bad, you're going to feel worse because you're in a hot environment?
There are some theories out there, in part, that we don't get the same kind of deep restorative sleep that we normally get when it's very hot, and that can impair our thinking and our ability to think through how to act during our daily experience, and also affects the serotonin in our brain, which regulates mood.
Right, so if you were already anxious, for example, could you be more anxious during
You
a heat wave?
can. They found that there's an increased visits to emergency rooms, that there's increased suicide. People who are struggling with bipolar disorder might have more manic episodes. So I think it stresses the body out. And, you know, when anyone is overheated, they're just not functioning in their best capacity.
Right.
But knowledge is power, so that's the good news.
Yeah, and the brain is the part of the body, right? So if it's stressing all your systems, it's going to stress your mental health as well.
That's right.
Let's talk solutions a little bit. So
Okay.
if you find yourself feeling more angry, more stressed, more, you know, anxious, what do you...
More fatigued.
Yeah, fatigued in the heat. What do you do?
So think cool. You want to put yourself in a cool environment as much as possible. You want to dress light. You want to stay out of the sunlight as much as possible. There are certain medications that interfere with heat regulation, antidepressants, antipsychotics. You want to hydrate, 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 because that's what keeps our body going and flowing. And, you know, if you continue to have issues, go see your doctor and see if there are tweaks that can be made in terms of you feeling better.
It's really interesting on the antidepressants. Like, I had no idea that that might cause actually you know, more dehydration.
Yes.
And a lot of people are taking those kind of medications now.
Right.
With so many people having mental health issues.
That's right. And of course, the very old are vulnerable because of the medications they're taking and what happens to the body, and the very young are also vulnerable.
I also want to ask you lastly about that map we were looking at and Bill's forecast for lots of climate changes. I know my own kids who are older are worried about the planet, right? A lot of us are worried about the planet. Is that contributing to anxiety?
Absolutely. So we can walk around in denial when we're feeling comfortable. We don't necessarily think about the weather, but when it's very hot out, it can trigger that existential anxiety that we're ruining the planet and that we're in danger.
Oh, I wish we could talk longer about how to alleviate that, but that's a much bigger conversation, right? We need to change the planet to change our mental health. Robi, thank you so much.
Thank you.